We underestimate lists, but ancient Babylon built a civilization on lists. You see, before philosophy and science and essays and theories, the scribes of Mesopotamia were compiling lists. And I don't mean grocery lists, we're talking about medical diagnoses, omens, god names, star charts, plant properties, and weirdly detailed guides on sheep anatomy. Lists weren't just organization. These were how you understood the world in ancient times. Take a moment and picture it. You're a student in the Babylonian scribal school, the Eduba. You're handed a clay tablet, and sometimes you get stories, but far more often you get, if a patient's nose is red, it's the hand of a ghost. Prognosis bad. And that's one entry out of 3,000. That particular one comes from a 40-tablet masterpiece by Esagil Apli, and his work, his genius, was pure list-making. But here's the thing. These lists, they really seem to have worked in advancing the first science in human history. The human brain, as far as we know now, seems to love lists. They're compact, they're memorable, they're easy to compare. Babylonian scholars knew that a long time before BuzzFeed ever started writing lists. And it's not just a quirk, it was epistemology. It's a theory of knowledge. To understand something, you lined up its properties in relation to others. Symptom A leads to outcome B. Deity X has sign Y. Everything in its place. Even prayers were lists. Enlil is powerful. Enlil is wise. Enlil is just. Boom, boom, boom. It's a lot of repetition, but that's the point. Each item adds weight. It builds structure. It gives shape to something bigger than any one line. The scribes made lists of words, then they made lists of lists, then they made catalogs of the lists of lists. It's literal metadata. That's how the first libraries worked. Of course, they didn't have alphabetical order, they didn't have an alphabet, they just had categories, an analogy. And so when the brilliant Babylonian scientists made their medical lists, they weren't just dumbing things down. They were building knowledge systems designed to last, and they did for thousands of years. So if you've ever learned from a checklist or a spreadsheet or even a bullet-pointed article, you owe a little something to the oldest list makers of ancient Babylon.